Shahrazad said, in ancient times, a very rich merchant used to do business of many things. Although he had kothes, gamasters and servants at every place, yet he himself used to travel to the country and abroad for business. Once he had to go to another place for some special work. He went alone sitting on the horse. There was nothing to eat and drink at the destination, so he filled a kurji with clasśes and dates. He returned after the work was done. On the morning of the fourth day, seeing a clean pond near dense trees, some distance away from his route, he wished to rest. He got down from the horse and sat on the bank of the pond and started eating clasśes and dates. When his stomach was full, he threw the kernels of dates here and there to clear the place and took rest. Meanwhile, he saw a very fierce monster coming towards him with a big sword drawn. Coming near, the demon roared with anger and said, "Come here. I will kill you." Seeing his terrible form and hearing the roar, the merchant started trembling and said, "Swami, what crime have I committed that you are killing me?" The demon said, "You have killed my son, I will kill you." The merchant said, "I haven't even seen your son, how did I kill him?" The demon said, "Haven't you left your way and come here? Didn't you eat dates, by taking them out of your bag, and didn't throw their kernels here and there?" The merchant said, "Your words are correct. I have done the same." The demon said, "When you were throwing the kernels, you were throwing so hard that one kernel hit my son's eye and the poor man died at the same time. Now I will kill you." The merchant said, "Sir, I have not killed your son intentionally. Then I fall at your feet and apologize for the mistake I have committed." The demon said, "I neither know how to have mercy nor to forgive. And isn't it in your own Sharia, that you have been allowed to kill a human being instead of a human being? I will not live without killing you." Having said this, the demon caught hold of the businessman's arm and threw him on the earth and raised his sword to kill him. The merchant started lamenting, remembering his wife and sons, and at the same time, swearing by God and the holy souls, started begging for his life from the demon. The demon stopped his hand, thinking that when he gets tired and stops thrashing his hands and feet, he will kill him. But the businessman did not stop crying. At last the demon said to him, "You are unnecessarily troubling yourself and me. I will kill you even if you shed blood instead of tears." The merchant said, "How sad that you don't feel pity on me in any way. You are killing a poor, innocent man unjustly, and my crying and begging have no effect on you. I still can't believe that you will kill me." The demon said, "No. Surely I will kill you." By then it was morning. Shahrazad fell silent after telling such a story. He thought, it is time for the king to offer his prayers, and after that he will go to the court. Duniyazad said, "Sister, what a nice story it was." Shahrazad said, "Do you like this story?" "Nothing now, there will be even more surprises in the future. If you listen, you will be even more happy. If Badshah Salamat lets me live today, and then allows me to tell the story, then tomorrow night I will tell you the rest of the story, otherwise I will go to God." Shahryar also liked this story very much. He thought that Shahrazad should not be put to death until the story was completed, so he left the intention of executing him that day. He got up from the bed and went to offer namaz and then sat in the court. The morning minister was also present. He did not sleep whole night thinking about the fate of his daughter. He was waiting that if there was a royal order, I should take my daughter and hand her over to the executioner. But he was surprised to see that the king did not give this tyrannical order. Shahryar remained busy with the administration throughout the day, and slept with Shahrazad at night. Duniyazad woke up again, and told the elder sister that if you did not sleep then tell that story further. Shahryar also woke up and said, "She is right. I also want to hear the story of the merchant and the demon. You take the story forward." Shahrazad began again. When the merchant saw that the demon would not leave me alive in any way, he said, "Swami, if you have considered me as a slaughter and are not ready to sacrifice my life in any way, then at least give me this much opportunity that I can go home and do my work. I should bid farewell to my wife and sons and distribute my property among my heirs, so that there is no quarrel between them over property after me. I promise that after doing all this, I will reach this place. At that time do whatever you think is right with me." The demon said, "What if I let you go home and you don't come back?" The merchant said, "I don't go by what I say. Even then, if you do not believe, then I swear by the God, who has created the earth, sky, etc., that I will definitely return from home to this place." The giant said, "How much time do you want?" The merchant said, "I only want 1 year's time, in which I can come after managing all my property, and I don't have any worries while dying. I promise that after years, I will come to this place and hand myself over to you." The demon said, "Okay. I will let you go for 1 year, but you take this promise by giving witness to God." The merchant repeated the oath. After swearing by God and leaving the demon merchant on the same pond, he disappeared. The merchant rode home on his horse. The merchant repeated the oath. After swearing by God and leaving the demon merchant on the same pond, he disappeared. The merchant rode home on his horse. The merchant repeated the oath. After swearing by God and leaving the demon merchant on the same pond, he disappeared. The merchant rode home on his horse. The businessman was in a strange condition on the way. Sometimes he would be happy that he was still alive, and sometimes he would be sad at the certain death after a year. When he reached home, his wife and relatives were happy to see him, but he started crying after seeing them. Those people understood from his lamentation that he had suffered a heavy loss in business, or some other dear thing had gone out of his hands, due to which his patience was running out. When the merchant's mind calmed down and his tears stopped, his wife said, "We are happy to see you. Why are you crying like this? My life is of only 1 more year." Then he told the whole situation, and described his vow made by testifying to God in front of the demon. Hearing this whole situation, they all also started crying. Especially his wife started beating her head, and pulling her hair, and his boys and children started lamenting loudly. That day was spent in crying and beating. From the second day the merchant started his worldly work. He first returned the money of his creditors. He gave valuable gifts to his friends, donated generously to fakirs and sages, freed many slaves and slaves. He gave sufficient money to his wife, appointed guardians for minor sons and daughters, and divided the property among the children. A year passed in all these arrangements, and he left with a sad heart to fulfill his vow. He kept some money with him for his funeral expenses. While leaving, all the family members started crying, hugging him, and said, "Take us along with you so that we too can die with you." The merchant calmed down his mind and to calm them all said, "I am bowing my head before the will of God. You guys also have patience. Understand that one day everyone has to die. No one can escape from death. That's why you guys do your work patiently." Taking leave of his relatives, the merchant left and after some time reached the place where he had asked to meet the demon. He got down from the horse and sitting on the bank of the pond started looking for the path of his killer monster with a sad heart. Meanwhile an old man came carrying a deer and said to the merchant, "How did you come to this deserted place? Don't you think that many people mistakenly consider it to be a good resting place and come here and get various miseries at the hands of the demons?" The merchant said, "You are right. I am also going to fall prey to a demon after falling in this trap. Saying this, he told his whole story to the old man. The old man said with surprise, "You have told such a thing that no one in the world has heard till now. You didn't even worry about your life in fulfilling the oath you had taken to God. You are very truthful, and the amount of praise for your honesty is less. Now I will stay here and see what the demon does to you." They started talking among themselves. Meanwhile, another old man came, who had a rope in his hand and 2 black dogs were tied to that rope. He started asking both of them about their well-being. First, the old man told the whole story of the businessman, and also said that I am sitting here to see the future. The other old man was also surprised to hear all this and sitting there started talking to both of them. After some time, another old man came carrying a mule, and asked the first 2 old men why this merchant was sitting here so sad. Both told the complete condition of that businessman. The third old man expressed his desire to stay there and see the end of this business. So he also sat there. The third old man was still not able to breathe well when all 4 of them saw that a huge thick smoke was rising in the forest in front. That cloud of smoke disappeared near them. Those people were rubbing their eyes with surprise that a very terrible monster appeared. He had a sword in his hand and said to the merchant, "Get up and come here. I will kill you, you have killed my son." Hearing this, the merchant and the 3 old men started trembling and started lamenting loudly. The forest resounded with their cries and cries. But the demon caught hold of the merchant and took him to one side. The old man with the deer saw this and he ran to the demon and said, "Demon King, I want to request you something. Keep restraint on your anger for some time. I wish to tell you the story of me and this deer. But there is a condition to the story. If you find this story strange and like it, then forgive 1/3 of the crime of this merchant." The demon thought for a while and said, "Okay, I accept your condition. Tell the story."